Hey guys, so as some of you may know, this week is the National Eating Disorder Awareness Week, so I thought for this week's video I would talk to you a wee bit about my tips for recovering from an eating disorder. So thumbs up if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to help me out, and I will get straight into it. So my first tip number one, is to reach out, ask for help. You are not a weak person if you ask for help. For me, I tried for years to try and fight this thing on my own, and sometimes it's just not possible to do things by yourself, so asking for some help does not mean you are a bad person at all. Talk to family, friends, a teacher if you're at school. In my case, I told the doctor, and then it all went from there, which made it easier to talk to other people about it too. So yeah, make sure you ask for help. Tip number two is regular eating. I find even to this day this helps me out so much. If I skip meals and stuff, I feel absolutely crap, and then problems. Even the people that I work with, because they know I have issues with this, if they notice I don't have food for lunch or something like that, they will pretty much force feed me almost. They know I get grumpy when I don't eat, and they don't want to be around me when I'm like that, so they make sure that I'm eating, which I think is really cool, really helpful. So yeah, regular eating just is make sure you eat breakfast, make sure you eat snacks, lunch, dinner, blah blah blah. It doesn't have to be a lot of food, but just make sure that every few hours you are eating something. Tip number three, and this is one of the hardest things for me, is, it seems crazy, but find hobbies. Find things you love doing, things that take your mind off other things, because for me, I never really had things that I felt I was interested in. Now I like talking to you guys, I collect makeup, I like playing with makeup, I still like exercising, but it'll be a mountain climb with a friend or something in the weekend, and yeah, I just find without those things I would be lost, and then when I'm bored my problems with food start again. So definitely find hobbies, find things you love doing. It could be reading, shopping, watching movies with friends, it could be anything. Tip number four is to stop comparing yourself to other people, because you don't know the things they go through to look how they do. I mean, you might see someone really skinny and think I want to be like them, but then you ask that person and they probably want to put on weight and can't. So don't ever compare yourself to other people. You don't know their situation, and especially the ones in the magazines, like a lot of people are photoshopped and stuff like that, so comparing yourself to other people is just a waste of time. Like, you are you for a reason, and you need to be comfortable in your own skin. So yeah, stop comparing yourself to other people. Tip number five is to stop putting rules on food. This is a hard one for me because I have a list of good food, bad food, and I'll get grumpy if I eat these bad foods, even though some of them aren't even bad foods. So I'm pretty much setting myself up to fail by putting these rules. So I suggest that you just eat in moderation. Know that you are allowed to eat anything. There's no good and bad food. Like, as long as you're having things in moderation, then yeah, it's all good. Tip number six is to stop shoulding and musting. This is a hard one for me too. This is just saying things like, I should be doing this, I must do this, I shouldn't be doing that, I should be doing this. So again, you're just setting yourself up to fail because you're setting really unrealistic goals and things like that. For me, the hardest thing is feeling like I need to exercise all the time. So I say, oh, I'd have a better day if I had of exercise, I should exercise tomorrow, I should exercise the next day, blah blah blah. It's just, you just set yourself up to fail, and then yeah, you feel really crappy when you don't achieve your unrealistic goals. So stop the shoulding and musting. Tip number seven is to ask for evidence whenever you're having bad thoughts. So for example, ask yourself if you're only focusing on the bad side of a situation and, you know, not thinking about the good side, or ask yourself if you're being misled by your thoughts and feelings, and are they actually fact? Because most of the time, no, they're not. You're just not thinking straight. Tip number eight is to know what normal eating is. So ask your family and friends, what do they consider normal eating? Because normal eating can vary. Normal eating might mean skipping a meal one day because you're not close to anywhere with food. It could mean eating a bit more food than normal because you haven't eaten in a while. It could mean eating 3 biscuits because you want 3. It could mean eating 1. I have it written down on a piece of paper, but normal eating is flexible. It varies in response to your emotions, your schedule, your hunger, and your proximity to food. So yeah, just know what normal eating really is. Tip number 9 is to write down food logs and also monitor your thoughts as well. So for example, I have this folder right here, which is all of the information I got from the therapy that I was doing for about a year. So there's a lot of helpful stuff in here. For example, this here is a food log. So if you can see here, time, food and liquid intake, the location, if you binged or vomited or used laxatives, and what were your situations, thoughts and feelings. These can get a little bit frustrating because you have to write down every single time you eat something, but for me this kept me on track because I didn't want to write down that I was thinking all of these bad things. And as for monitoring your thoughts as well, this is how I was doing it here. So this table says the situation, the automatic thoughts, feelings, behaviors and thinking errors. So there are so many thinking errors like blowing things out of proportion, black and white thinking, as I mentioned before, shoulding and musting. There is all sorts. If you just Google or even comment and ask me what these are and I'll tell you. But yeah, it's a really good idea to just write down your thoughts to every situation because yeah, it helps out a lot to know what situations lead you to your bad thinking. My last tip number 10 is to identify your triggers. So again, straight from this folder, triggers or cues. A cue is anything which leads to a thought, feeling or behavior. A cue may be something that occurs in your head or in your body or in the world, or it may be how you feel. A cue can be specific or vague and will generally fall into the following categories. There are social cues, food cues, situational cues, physical sensations, feelings and thought. Once you identify your triggers, it makes it so much easier to deal with these problems because, you know, if I'm feeling lazy or bored, then I start having bad thoughts with food and stuff again, food and body image. So yeah, knowing your triggers, so then you can go, okay, well, every time I do this happens, so you need to work your way around those issues. So there you go guys, there was my 10 tips for recovering from an eating disorder, and I understand that sometimes, actually a lot of the time, 100% recovery from an eating disorder is impossible. As for me, I am 100% better than what I was, but I'm still not fully recovered. I feel that this is definitely something that I have to learn to live with, but I thought I would share with you some of the things that I have learned in therapy and some of the things that have got me to where I am now, which is definitely a lot better than I was. I am genuinely happy now. My biggest thing is to please ask for help. Please reach out, ask anybody, one person, even comment me down below if you have any questions about this stuff. It really does break my heart knowing that there's so many people that struggle with this issue as well. But anyway, thumbs up if you did enjoy this video, and don't forget to subscribe because I will regularly do more videos on this topic because it's pretty close to my heart. If you have any more questions related to this issue, please comment me down below and I will get back to you guys. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next video. See you later.